It's showtime. Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Child's Play 2.
Peekaboo!
He's the original. He'll take your breath away. This fall, Chucky rules.
Did you miss me, Andy? I sure missed you.
Child's Play 2. Keep an eye out for it.
Hey everyone, welcome to Hatchet Boys. My name's P. Rich, and sorry Jack, Chucky's back.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
Chucky's back. Yeah, not the best tagline, not the worst either. Yeah, I remember seeing the movie poster, going to the movie store, rent movies as a kid, and the movie poster always intrigued me as a kid. I always wanted to see this film. So, yeah, today I'm going to be reviewing and discussing Child's Play 2 1990 slasher horror film. And it is a direct sequel to the Child's Play 1988 film, written by Don Mancini and directed by John Lafia, one of the co-writers of the first film. It is the second installment in the Child's Play franchise and set 2 years after the first film. So yeah, basically the plot, the story goes 2 years after the first film, the Play Pals Corporation, which produces the good guy dolls, recovers from the negative publicity and resembles Chucky to reassure its stockholders that there was nothing actually wrong with the doll. During the process, a power surge electrocutes one of the assembly line workers. I mean, this part is so ridiculous, but it's funny and it does work. I mean, it's not the worst, like, in a horror film. I mean, it is funny. I always laughed at this scene. But yeah, it's not that bad.
My stomach hurts, Matson. Is this what you call good news?
Yes, no, I'm getting to that, sir. Our biggest problem has been the rumors.
Sullivan?
A lot of people are saying that some joker here at the company must have tampered with the doll's voice cassette, you know. Hi, I'm Chucky. I'm the Lakeshore Strangler. Now I'm gonna kill you. Something like that.
What's wrong?
I don't know. It's stuck.
They'll have this worked out.
If you will. Excuse me, I've got a meeting I've got to get to. As far as the stockholders and I are concerned, this matter is finished.
Yes, sir. What do you want me to do with the doll? Stick it up your...
And so Mr. Sullivan, the executive of the company, orders his assistant Matson to cover up the accident and dispose of Chucky. Yeah, Matson's like, what do you want me to do with the doll? It's just like sitting there in the corner. He's like, stick him up your ass. It was fucking funny. So unaware that he has been revived. Yeah, Chucky's back. And meanwhile, Andy Barkley, now 8-year-old, has been in foster care ever since the murders. His mother haven't been institutionalized for backing up Andy's story about the killer doll. Andy goes to live with foster parents Phil and
So, Andy, what do you like to eat?
All kinds of things.
What was your very favorite food in the whole wide world?
Chocolate.
Besides chocolate.
My mom used to fix me eggs for breakfast. I like eggs.
You got it. Oh, we should stop at the store.
The one down here?
Yeah, the organic one.
You're in luck, Andy.
foster parents Phil and Joanne Simpson, who are also fostering Kyle, and clinical, street-smart teenage girl. Chucky discovers Andy's whereabouts by using Matson's car phone to call Grace Pohl, the manager of Andy's foster center, before suffocating Matson with a plastic bag. Oh, I love this scene, man. And I'd say there's a lot of good scenes in this film, but oh man, this is one of the best. So like, Matson goes to the liquor store and you see Chucky make the phone call to Grace, the woman at the what do you call it? The foster center, and yeah, and then Chucky comes from the back seat, but he's got like a gun held to Matson's head, and he's like, just drive, asshole. And he tells him to go to like some abandoned park or whatever, and he's like, now park this piece of shit. Oh man, like Chucky's one-liners in this film are so great. Some of the best. And so yeah, and then he squirts him with the gun. It was just a water gun. And then Matson starts laughing, and then so does Chucky, and then he throws the plastic bag over his head. Oh, it's a great kill. Oh man.
Jesus! God, okay, what do you want? No questions, just drive. Okay. Keep going. Now park this piece of shit. I don't care cash. I got a gold card. I'll give you anything you want. Tell me what you want. Please, asshole. Take the car, and you can drop me off, but just please leave me alone. Please. You're dead.
So anyways, and then you see Chucky like running up. It's like a POV shot of Chucky running up to the foster parents' house there. And so Chucky invades the home by destroying and burying another good guy doll called Tommy and replacing it with himself. Yeah, another great scene. He's like, he bumps into him and he starts going off. He's like, "Hey, I'm Tommy." And he's like, "Shut up, you idiot." Breaks his face with one of the father's ornaments. And then he like digs him in a hole, and it's just the best. Oh man, like Chucky's laugh. He's laughing hysterically, and he's like, "Eat dirt, Tommy." It's fucking awesome. Love this movie.
I'm Tommy. Shut up, you idiot.
So yeah, after replacing Tommy with himself, and he begins to bond with Kyle after the two are punished for the father finds Phil finds the broken ornament, and he thinks one of them did it, and none of them will say they did it, so he's just punishing them now. That night, Chucky ties Andy to his bed and reveals himself. But Kyle enters the room from the window. She's sneaking back in. And she's like, "What the hell's going on in here?" And then Phil and the mother there walks in. And it's like, "Oh, so you're tying up Andy now?" So anyways, Kyle enters the bedroom, and now Chucky can't complete the voodoo chant to possess him. Kyle doesn't believe Andy's asseverations about Chucky, while Phil and Joanne blame Kyle and throw Chucky in the basement. So Chucky realizes that he's becoming human after suffering a nosebleed. The next day, Chucky secretly follows Andy to school and writes like, "Fuck you, bitch," on Andy's homework. And he's like, "Oh man," another great scene. And then she's like going through the homework, and she sees it, and it says like, "Fuck you, bitch." And then she goes up to Andy and she's like, "Do you think this is funny? You're here for after school detention." And so she leaves the room, and then she puts Chucky in the closet and locks the door. And then Chucky kills Andy's teacher, Miss Cadwell, by stabbing her with a pump and then beating her with a yardstick. Oh man, another great scene.
And you think this is funny?
I didn't do that.
Go ahead, kids. Don't forget.
But I didn't do it, I swear.
No? Then who did? Don't even. No toys. Head down.
Peekaboo! Please, let me out of here, Andy. It's dark in here.
Hey.
Open the goddamn door! Let me out, you little dick! Let me the fuck out!
Come out of there! Open this door right now! Come out this very second! Andy! Andy! Andy?
You've been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell.
It's fucking hilarious, but yeah, the way Chucky looks, it's so menacing looking. He looks great. I love it. But Andy tries to warn his foster parents about Chucky, but Phil refuses to believe him and considers returning him to the foster center. That night, Andy sneaks into the basement and destroys Chucky with the electric knife. But the doll overpowers him. When Phil arrives to investigate the commotion, Chucky trips him, causing Phil... He's like... Phil's just hanging there, and Chucky, breaks his neck. He's like, how's it hanging, Phil? Fucking another great part. Neck. Joanne immediately blames Andy for Phil's death and sends him back to the foster center. After throwing Chucky in the garbage, Kyle discovers Tommy's, the other good guy doll's buried body. And she knows Andy wasn't full of shit. So she rushes to warn Joanne, only to discover Chucky has already killed her. Chucky ambushes Kyle and forces her to drive him to the foster center. Yeah, so like, this part is good suspense. Like in the first film, I find this one doesn't really have a whole lot of suspense. Like it does and it doesn't. But I find this scene and the scene where Andy's in the basement looking for Chucky to kill him with the electric knife probably has the most suspense in this film. But yeah, so Kyle's going upstairs, going to check on Joanne, and you see Joanne's body, her throat slit, and like the sewing machine's just running, her foot's on the pedal, it's just running over again, and then yeah, she finds her body, like her throat slit, and then she's scared, so she backs up towards the bed, and then you see like Chucky rise up, but he has the sheet over his head, and then he tears through it and attacks Kyle. Oh man, it's a great scene. So yeah, Chucky is forcing Kyle to go to the center there, and yeah, this whole scene where he's trying to get him to go to the child center there. It's just fucking hilarious. She tries to... The cops come and pull him over for driving too fast, and his nose starts bleeding, and then he's like, what the hell is that? And he's like... And then she's like, you ever see dolls have people? This one bleeds. And he's like, kind of all weirded out, so he's like, alright, go ahead. And then Chucky tells her to go fast again, and she's like, we'll just get pulled over again. She puts on her seatbelt on, and he's like, shut up before I kick your fucking teeth in. It's just fucking hilarious. And then she slams on the brakes and he goes flying up the windshield. It's like a little plastic doll. How the fuck could it fly up the windshield? But I don't know. It's great though.
That's one of those good guys, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I love these things. What's your name, buddy?
Chucky.
That's incredible.
I'll say.
What the hell's that?
You seen dolls that pee? This one bleeds.
Okay, look, just slow it down, huh? And, buckle up for safety.
Come on, step on it!
Fine. Just get pulled over again.
Just shut up and drive before I kick your fucking teeth in! You goddamn women drivers!
So, after that, Chucky ends up getting a hold of Kyle again and forcing her to go to the foster center there. And Chucky clears the building by pulling the fire alarm. He stabs Grace to death. It's hilarious. Another great scene. And forces Annie to take him to the Play Pals factory to perform the voodoo chant.
Is this your idea of a joke? Don't give me that.
Amazing, isn't it?
The Play Pals factory to perform the voodoo chant. Kyle pursues him to the factory but is unable to find them before Chucky knocks Andy unconscious and completes the ritual. However, the spell fails as Chucky has spent too much time in the doll's body. Yeah, and now he's permanently trapped. Chucky's all fucking pissed off and furious now, and he chases Andy and Kyle through the factory trying to kill them, intending to kill both of them. Yeah, so Kyle slams the gate on Chucky's hand, which Chucky tears it off. It looks pretty good, and he replaces it with like a blade, he takes the handle off the knife and he sticks his stump in it, so he's got like a knife and arm now. So after Chucky murders the factory technician, this is a great kill too. It's like the eyeball machine for the dolls. He gets stuck in it and it goes right in his eyeballs. Yeah, it looked good. I like that kill. So Kyle and Andy managed to trap him in a giant assembly line machine that mutilates his body, seemingly to kill him. However, Chucky manages to escape the machine by cutting his own legs and attacks again,
You little shit! Do you know what you've done? It's too late! I've spent too much time in this body! I'm fucking trapped in here! What the hell?
Andy, run! Reach! Give me your hand! Stop yourself! Step aside!
Oh, you Andy!
cutting his own legs and attacks again, knocking out Kyle. Andy is able to defeat him a second time by opening a valve, showering Chucky with like hot molten plastic. And then after saving Kyle from going into that same machine, the two approach the half-melted Chucky, and he suddenly attacks them again. During the struggle, Kyle shoves a high-pressure air hose in his mouth, inflating his head until it explodes. And yeah, that's how Chucky dies. And Andy and Kyle exit the factory unsure of where to go next.
Thanks for coming after me.
Yeah, well, you owe me one, sport.
Kyle!
Got you now, Andy. And you know what I'm doing?
You son of a bitch! Where are we going?
Home.
To this film, the one I've always seen is the one where they just leave, but then there's another one where you see it goes back into the factory again, and you see Chucky's like body there, and then you see like a big tub full of like plastic where they make all the plastic out of the toys, and you see like half his face in there, and then the machine makes like his face, like his head come out, and then it just kind of like moves. So yeah, it's like basically winking to the audience like, yeah, there will be another Chucky film. I mean, it was alright, but they didn't need that. So yeah, my first impression of this film, man, fucking loved it. Yeah, I seen it when I was a kid. Right after the first one, I bought this film. And I just fucking loved it. I think I watched this like repeatedly, like so many times. I loved it. Yeah. So yeah, I would say this is my favorite. Yeah, I do kind of always prefer the first one better just because it's more of like a horror suspense film. This one it's like a horror film, but it's not much suspense. It's like kind of more funny and like horror too. So yeah, I don't know. I always like this one the best out of them all. So we get Alex Vincent as Andy Barkley. Brad Dourif reprising his role again as Chucky. And Christine Elise as Kyle. Yeah, she's great. I really like her. And we get Jenny Agutter as Joanne Simpson. Gerrit Graham as Phil Simpson. And yeah, so Kyle. I always knew Kyle from. Was it? I'm pretty sure she was on Beverly Hills 99102. Was it 90210? Yeah, I think she was in that show. I think that's where I know her from. Back in the day, yeah. My mom used to watch that show in Melrose Place, so I always get those two mixed up sometimes. But I'm pretty sure it was Beverly Hills 90210 that she was in. That's where I know her from, like, before I seen this film. She was great. Yeah, I really like her. And she's in the new TV series, same with Alex Vincent as Andy Barkley. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see them two back in the Chucky series. I've only seen the first season of Chucky. I heard like a lot of bad things about season 2. I haven't yet seen it, but I'd like to watch it here soon. Yeah, so my favorite character, I mean, yeah, I like Andy, and I like Kyle, and yeah, Chucky. I always love Chucky, but I would have to say I like Kyle the best in this film. She's my favorite character. The worst character for me would have to be Phil. Yeah, it's just. Well, he's not even that bad. It's just, I don't know. I don't really like him. Yeah, if I had to pick a worst character, it would be Phil or the teacher, Miss Callowell. Yeah, I love seeing that bitch get it. Oh man, it was lovely. Like, it always takes me back because, like, I had a lot of teachers when I was younger in school, and they were like that. So when she gets it, I'm like, yes. All right, so moving on to the technical elements in this film. I mean, yeah, I do like how it's not an apartment building this time. Yeah, it's kind of like all over the place. You get it in the school. You get Chuck in the school. You get him at the house, at the foster home. You get him at the foster center. You get him at that toy factory. That's probably my favorite. That whole ending at the toy factory for sure. Yeah, I mean, the practical effects were great. I mean, sort of just like the first one in a way. But Chucky does look like more kind of evil in this one, I find. Yeah, so Chucky looks great. Yeah.
Doesn't come fully assembled. It takes over 500 feet of cable, 9 operators, and Chucky designer Kevin Yeager to bring it all together.
The hair had to be just the right shade of red, and the eyes had to be just the right shade of blue, and you had to have just a sweet smile.
I'm gonna get you!
But with the demanding action of Child's Play 2, Chucky had to be more than just a pretty face.
In the first film, we used a little person and cut between the two. Kevin has now made it possible that we don't need a little person at all, that Chucky does everything in the film himself.
And he does plenty.
I wouldn't describe Chucky as an intellectual. He's more of a man of action.
He's just out to maim, murder, and raise hell altogether.
He's just pure nastiness in a small form. He's a flirt. Chucky's a flirt.
He's a swine and proud of it.
Looks fine. Sounds fine. The music, I'm not really that big of a fan of the music. I like the music better in the first one. Yeah, so... Yeah, so United Artists, the company that did the first film, purchased the script to the original Child's Play. Because UA President Tony Thanopoulos and MGMA UA Communications Chairman Lee Rich believed that it had potential for multiple sequels. Yeah, it does, for sure. The sequel was in pre-production and was set to begin filming on October 15th, 1989, when UA President Richard Berger told producer David Kirshner that the film was put on hold as the studio was about to be required by the Australian group Q-Tex, whose director Christopher Skaz intended to ban the studio from producing horror films. What the fuck? I mean, horror films, they do make money if they're done right. Like, anyways, so Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers, Columbia Pictures, 20th Century Fox, the Price Company, New Line Cinema, Walt Disney Studios, and Universal Pictures expressed interest in picking up the film rights, like basically all of them. Like, wow. To the series and the sequel, with the Universal winning the rights bid after Steven Spielberg assisted Universal's Sid Sheinberg in convincing Kirshner to accept it. Wow. I didn't know Steven Spielberg had like a big influence on the Child's Play films. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Originally, the film was intended to open with courtroom scene and a jury sentencing Karen Barkley to a mental institution for insisting that Chucky was alive, and both Karen Hicks and Chris Sarandon were intended to reprise their roles as Karen and Detective Mike Norris from the first film. However, their scenes were cut from the scripts because the budgetary constraints, and as a result of their omission, the film is much shorter than the other installments in the series. The courtroom scene would be recycled as the ending of Curse of Chucky. Yeah. That still would have been like cool to see, though. I would have liked to see that. Yeah, just kind of show like what happened to Mike and Karen, for sure. So yeah, it also would have been contain a scene from Chucky's remains were held in the police evidence locker alongside of Jason Voorhees and a Michael Myers mask. An idea which came to be like later in Bride with Chucky. At the first of that film, you see that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so just do the overall success of this film. So the box office, this film opened at a number one in the US with an opening weekend grossed $10,718,520 from 1,996 screens in the US. The film grossed a total of $28,501,605 in the US, and an additional $7.3 million intentionally for a worldwide gross of $35.8 million. Pretty good. Yeah. So, like a critical response, Rotten Tomatoes gives the film an approval rating of 40%. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. What do they know anyways? Fuck them, man. I don't even go by their ratings. Fuck them. Anyways, I'm not going to get worked up over Rotten Tomatoes, but I remember seen this issue in a Fangoria magazine and Child's Play 3. I used to collect those magazines as a kid, Fangoria. Fucking love those magazines. I wish I still had those. I should have kept them. But yeah, anyways, my favorite parts, basically the whole fucking movie, like the first one. Real quick, is there anything I don't like about this film? I mean, there's just a couple things where you're like, how did that happen? But other than that, man, I love this film, and there's nothing really bad about this movie at all. For one, yeah, like I said at the first, like when the guy gets electrocuted and he goes fucking flying, it's just hilarious. Yeah, but the thing I always thought, like, how did Chucky get in the basement before Andy got back from school? Like, Andy already left before Chucky even killed Miss Kettlewell. So I always thought, like, how the fuck did Chucky get back so quick? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just a horror film and all that. I know that. But it's just always, like, funny to think, like, how did he get back there? Did he fucking teleport? I don't know. Anyways, yes, I highly recommend Child's Play 2, definitely. After seeing the first one, and you're like invested in this whole thing, and you're like, okay, let's see what Child's Play 2 is like. I mean, me personally, I like it like a little bit better, but not by much. It's fun. It's always a good watch. It's just to have fun with and laugh your ass off at it. And the kills are good in this film. I like the kills. And there's 7 kills in the first one. I think there was only 4, I think. But yeah. So I would rate this film a 9 out of 10. Oh, for sure. Fucking love it. Alright. Yeah, that's it. So that's my review for Child's Play 2. Alright, thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.